Join the conversation in Tipperary. Contact us through Facebook, Twitter or email tiptoday@tippfm.com.
And you're very welcome back. Still getting loads in about the dance halls and the show bands. We'll get back to it very soon. But right now, I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by John McCormack, who's the Crime Prevention Officer for the county. Good morning to you, John, and good to see you. A lot of stuff I want to talk about, but can I go back first of all to that incident that happened in Cashel? It was late Sunday night into the early hours of Monday morning. What can you tell us about that, John?
I suppose, Fran, just in relation to that incident, I suppose it's an incident, I suppose, it's there in the public. There has been a number of arrests made in relation to it, but I suppose it's a live investigation, and I suppose we're appealing for information, I suppose, from the public or anybody that has information in relation to it, or any footage and phones and that as well, to contact the Gardaí and Cashel Garda Station and come forward with any information that they have to try and progress that.
Very serious incident, and I know you're taking it very seriously.
Yes, very serious incident, yeah.
All right, a number of things to talk about. Burglaries, first of all, and Operation Thor, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I suppose I just want to, this time of year, just come back in the new year, I suppose, just that, we don't get complacent in relation to our security and the security in our homes and that, and burglaries. Burglaries is just the one I wanted to talk about. Operation Thor is still in place, and I suppose it's a number of patrols in selected areas, I suppose, intelligence-led policing, I suppose, selecting locations where these patrols are taking place. They have led to a number of arrests in recent times, and there are several people before the courts in relation to those as well. The good news is, Fran, I suppose, is burglaries in the Clare Tipperary division are down 31% from 2024. So that's a big number. That's very good, crime-wise. But I suppose what I would see that from, I suppose, is that people are getting better at securing their property. They've more, I suppose, using the alarms, keeping the gates closed, yes. All those bits and pieces, I suppose, And I suppose, just for people out there, I suppose, the majority of burglaries, 95% of burglaries take place in unoccupied homes, and they occur between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. in the daytime,
I always find that so hard to believe. That it's the day. We all worry about the night time, but this is during the day when we're at work. And
people are out and about, you see, and, people go in, they're rushing out in the morning time there as well. I suppose, another statistic is, I suppose, a lot of these burglaries are taking place through unlocked doors. It's the front doors is unlocked. There was a figure there last year where the majority of the burglaries were through the front door, and the front door had been left unlocked. So I suppose we're appealing to people, I suppose, to lock all doors and windows. If you have the house alarm, use the house alarm
even during the day.
During the daytime. Yeah. Whenever you're going out and leaving the house unoccupied, turn on the alarm. Like the burglar loves the signs of unoccupancy. That the house is vacant and that there's nobody around and the gates are open and the lights are off. That if you are going away, turn on some timer switches or have lights on in selected areas, or ask neighbours to come in and turn on lights for you as well. Just make the house look lived in. It's an easy opportunity. They want. The majority of them are opportunists, and they're looking for an easy place. So don't make it easy for the burglar, I suppose.
And speaking of making it easy for them, I mean, many of us with the car keys or whatever, we come in maybe after work, we throw the keys on the hall table. They're quite visible often as well. These are the little things, but they could be very important. Yeah,
they're very important, I suppose. Store your keys safely. Don't leave your keys where they can be fished through a letterbox, or where they're just inside the hall door. The door is open, somebody opens the door and takes the keys. Your car is outside. And I suppose I'll touch on it a bit about keys, I suppose, as well. And never leave the keys in your car. If you're parking your car outside your home, don't leave the keys in the car. Lock your vehicle and ensure, I suppose, that those keys are secure. Even at times, if you're more comfortable with it, bring your keys up to the bedroom with you and leave them on the locker at night.
Cash, John.
Yeah, I suppose we're asking people, I suppose, not to store any large amounts, keep any large amount of cash at home, I suppose, and don't keep cash. I think people are getting better at that, becoming more cards, credit cards and that as well. But don't store any cash or keep any cash in your home.
All right. So burglaries are down. What about theft from cars and people interfering with cars?
In the last couple of months, Fran, we've noticed a number of thefts have taken place across the division, I suppose, in relation to thefts from vehicles, I suppose, at night. These crimes have occurred late at night and the early hours of the morning, when people are, I suppose, in bed. Typical, I suppose, MO is that a car will drive into the estate and a couple of suspects will get out. They'll search what cars are in the estate, and they're, in some cases, they're getting hits. Their cars, they're finding the cars are left open, and unfortunately, on occasions as well, friend, they're finding that the keys are left in the cars, and the cars have been taken. So I suppose our advice is to people, I suppose, is ensure that when you get out of your car, make sure the car is locked. Take the keys in, which, as I just said a minute ago, but before you go to bed at night, ensure your car is locked. Don't make it easy for the thief.
Yeah, and to be conscious of that all the time. Have you had some prosecutions around that?
We have, yeah. We had a great case there recently where members of the Operation Tor were on patrol and they came across a vehicle. They took a chase, but they arrested one male, and he was charged before the courts in relation to a number of thefts that have from vehicles that have taken place in recent times. So that was a very good detection, in the early hours of the morning. There's members in North Tipperary, yeah.
Just off air, we were talking about bogus traders and bogus callers. How big an issue is that, John?
Fran, I've been on here plenty of times before, and I've spoken about this a lot, but people are continuing to employ bogus callers or cold callers to houses where, they're people offering their services as contractors, or to repair damage that's carried out in a house and that, but they're they're still picking up. They're still easy targets out there. The public there's no research being carried out in relation to the person that's carrying out the work. They in some cases, I suppose, they come and they offer the service. They give you a price, and I've come across cases there recently where the homeowners have actually given them the money. They've paid them for the works before the works were completed, before they started. Right. And in some cases, what will happen is these tradesmen, they're bogus. They'll start the work and they'll leave your home. They won't return. The mobile number, the contact number you have for the person, it's not answering anymore, and they have your money. So I suppose I'm appealing to people again there, not to employ people, have them check out the person that's going to, get a reference on somebody else, ask somebody, or ask them, where have you worked before? Did you work in the locality? Ensure that they're genuine, bona fide workers.
And what is attractive about them? Is it a case that they're doing things? Well, they're saying that they'll do a job for lesser money than would normally be paid. Is that what's making it attractive?
It's partly, I suppose, Fran, and I suppose there is a lot of employment, people in employment, and there's less people to do these small jobs around the house that we think. And somebody arrives on then, and they have a van or a truck, and they say, trees, it could be tree surgeon, or it could be, offering grounds work, roofing, carpentry. Anybody can paint any sign on the side of a van and, pretend to be something that they're not. These people are, they're deceiving the public in the skills that they have. So they're getting in and they're getting the jobs.
I mean, what you have in your notes is what we should look to really remember. If it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, it is, Yeah, you're better off to, wait, have your inquiries made, get someone genuine, get somebody local. You're leaving the work local. Where these people are coming from, like there's loads of work for them as well, in their own location, in their own locality. But they're travelling out to get this.
So you have to ask yourself why. I presume, is it the case that if this happens to somebody, they might feel a bit stupid, a bit ashamed about it all?
Yeah.
And maybe they're not reporting it, but you would like people to report.
Yeah, friend, we'd ask anybody, that has been caught in relation to this, don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed about it, to come and to report it in Garda Síochána. Make a report. It's never too late to make a report, but to report it, and don't be embarrassed about it. But we'd ask people to look out for each other as well. If your neighbour is there, if you've an elderly person or somebody that's vulnerable in your community, and you notice that these people have pulled up and are offering their services and maybe going into the house, going into your next door neighbour, make inquiries, or talk to their relatives, ask somebody to come and just check it out, make sure they're okay. Go in and just ask them, are they okay? And that they're not being forced or being pushed into having works carried out that they don't want. Another one that came across there recently, Fran, was a company were saying they were working for the county council, and they were doing a bit of tiring, and they had some tire left over. Now, this doesn't happen, Fran, and I want everybody to understand that this doesn't happen. There's no such thing as tire left over, and we'll put the tire down for a good price for you. That doesn't happen. So please, these people are bogus, and not to engage with them, and to report their presence in your area to Garda Síochána.
It's so brazen, though, isn't it? So they're saying they're doing work for the county council, and they have a bit of tire left over, and just offering it. It's so brazen.
Yeah,
it
but,
really
people are they're looking at, and all it is, it's just a bit of tar and throwing a bit of gravel on it. It's not a good genuine. It's not. Yeah. It's not good workmanship.
Yeah, and getting back to what you said about the older people, I feel for older people because, again, going back to what you were saying, it is hard to get tradespeople. It is hard to get people to do your shoots and do the bits and pieces. If you're living alone, if you're an elderly person, you might say, "Yeah, this is an opportunity for me."
I know. Yeah. I know, yeah. And I suppose that's what we're asking. I suppose it's, community again, and I suppose, my own parish and the parishes and communities around the county, Fran. There is good people in the community, and there's community groups there as well, so there's somebody in your area who'll be able to advise you, who might be able to do that job for you, so just make inquiries and, ask around. And I suppose look out for your elderly neighbour, the person that's near your relative, would say, and just see, is there a few jobs that they need done, and there's
of course
a handout.
The whole business of the online fraud as well, is that getting more sophisticated? Are you hearing more about that as well?
Yeah, all the time, Fran. There's one that's out this week, and I'd just like to bring it to the attention of listeners as well. There's an online fraud at the moment, whereas the caller will call your mobile number, but they're calling from a WhatsApp phone call, but they have the Garda crest or the Garda logo on the phone. So
go on.
Yeah. So I suppose they're looking for bank details and requesting bank details. So I just want to remind the public that Garda Síochána will never ring anybody on a WhatsApp call looking for your bank details or any of your personal details. So I suppose just if anybody gets a call in relation to that, hang up straight away.
Right, but there's an example of how sophisticated all of this is becoming.
Yeah. It's all, it's just online. It's people behind in screens just looking for an easy target.
There's a huge amount of it last year for some reason or other. It's really escalated last year, didn't it?
Frauds are probably increasing. I suppose crimes that maybe a reason as well in relation to burglaries. Crime is changing. It's going more to online and frauds.
Yeah. And is the force staying with that? I mean, are you training up your own people in these various areas as well, John, that you can deal with all of this?
We are, Brian. Yeah, it's I suppose it's fraud in that they're constantly evolving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I suppose we're moving with it as well. You know what I mean? But it's just getting on top of it, and I suppose it's about like this, getting on opportunities to educate the public about not falling for any scams. And how many times did your phone ring during the Christmas that it was a UK number, someone from Australia or somebody from Germany, that what I mean, and they're looking for details, or it's a pre-recorded message looking for details off you. So I suppose we're asking people not to engage with any of these calls, to hang up, But hell, talk about it. Don't be ashamed if you got caught, If don't be ashamed to speak about it. They're out there, you might help somebody else, So.
And where we started talking about the theft from cars and the burglary, are you frustrated at times about how silly we can be? And I'm putting myself very firmly into that category. We're careless about our security at times, aren't we?
We are, Fran, but I think we're getting slightly. I think we're getting better at it. Yeah. I think we're getting better at it. Some of the crimes would, you'd say, my God, that, but. How did that happen? How did that occur? But we can't be victim blaming either. We have to support as well. But but I suppose we're asking people if there is anything suspicious in that, in your areas, or just something that's, something that you feel needs to be reported. Don't leave it to somebody else to report it. Make that call yourself. Don't think that if there's people calling house to house and that and make the call. Phone it in, call it in. Don't expect that your neighbour down the road is going to call it in, because you might save your neighbour down the road, but they might do the very same thing for you in the future.
You told us in the past you are available to communities if they want advice around theft and crime prevention and the like, John. Is that still the case?
That's still the case. That's always the case. Yeah, the crime prevention service is there, I suppose. And I have I've had a number of meetings, I suppose, throughout the county during the in the last couple of months as well. But if there's any communities or any groups out there that would like to get a talk on crime prevention, I suppose, and basically it goes through burglaries advice, security advice, advice even just, from your, on your lands and that, farming sector and that as well. Anything to do with that as well. We're here to offer that service. All
right, good to see you as always, John. Thanks very much indeed for that. John McCormack there, who's Crime Prevention Officer for County Tipperary. News and information's on the way.
Tipp FM's Tipp Today.
With Slattery's Garage, puck on. It's time to change. Test drive the award-winning range of Peugeot hybrids and fully electric vehicles at Slattery's Garage today. See slatterysgarage.ie.